Found what I've been looking for.
Hello Chapsi and welcome to the Beer Pong Show. Tonight, now we're going to look into the history of the Beer Pong World Cup from a long-time veteran and key protagonist throughout the formation of Chapsi Beer Pong. He's the man everybody loves to beat, and he likes to beat everybody too. It's Max Ashmore.
How did Beer Pong World Cup come to play? Realistically, it started as as an amateur sport. We played a lot of amateur games in 2008, 2009, but it wasn't until 2010 that it got pretty serious. We had a blueprint, we had an idea. We wanted to take it forward. We wanted to take hold of the games that we had been working towards. And I remember approaching Sam McMurtry on a venue. We spoke back and forth, eventually got the approvals, we moved forward, we signed a date, we set everything up that we needed to set up, and it just skyrocketed. It just skyrocketed from there. We took all the avenues and then we took all the precautions that we needed to take, but no one knew how big it was going to get. No one knew how big it was going to get from the time. And 2010 was absolute liftoff, realistically, for us.
I was there from the beginning. When we saw the young Max pick up a bat and a ball and try his hand at sport. We followed his sporting career from field to field, from cricket pitch to cricket pitch, and although there were some highs, it must be said, there were some lows, a lot of lows. But I remember the first day he came to me and said, "Pa, I want to play beer pong." And I said, what's that, son? Beer pong. And he proceeded to show me a game where he threw little plastic ping pong balls into large red cups. I said, okay, if that's what seems to be what the young folks are doing, then who am I to stop him? I remember, like it was yesterday, the glint in his eye when he sunk that first shot, that first clean shot into that cold, refreshing, frothy beer, and he looked at me as if to say, I found my calling. I found my purpose. And it was not long after he asked his mother if he could borrow the garage one night, where he could invite his little friends over and they played beer pong all night. I could hear whoops and I could hear hollering coming from that garage door. And the day after, Max came to me and he said, "You won't believe it, Pa. I think we're on to something special here." I chuckled and I said, "Okay, son, okay."
You know, we had a lot of issues on the way. We had casualties. Sam McMurtry's house cleaner, she quit day after, gone, absolutely gone, and she was furious. Sam's house was a mess, but we knew this was bigger than something. We knew this was bigger than her. So
The house is such a disgrace. I just had to quit. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm just picking. I'm expecting to create truth. special prize for the winner. A special Miss Piggy prize. For the prize hog at the fair. Whoever can win will win a special prize. Good luck! And let the strongest man win!
I've been looking for.
And of course, this competition has taken us into Europe already, but with foreign investment looming, what are your thoughts on the chances of expanding to other continents, maybe America or even Asia?
Of course, it's a global phenomenon. And where next? Who knows? I know. China. China's where it goes next, for sure. For sure, 100% China.
Yeah, yeah.
But of course, when you expand globally, you've got to be careful. You don't want all these other people with other nationalities coming in and ruining our sport. Am I right?
Totally agree. Totally agree with what you're saying. Makes perfect sense.
You've got to lock it down.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to make sure that none of those illegal aliens get involved with our sport. Am I
Totally
right?
agree. Totally
Fuck
agree.
it. Let's build a wall. Let's build a wall, not let any of them in.
Right, all this excitement, I'm getting tired, so it's time for a beer.
I like this guy. I like your viewpoint. I like how you see the world. Somebody get me in touch with this man.
See you in 5.
Somebody make it happen. I like him. I like this guy. I like you. No, I like you. Well, God bless America. Everybody stay safe.
So now it's time to hear from a couple of our sponsors for the tournament.
Hello? Yeah, hello. Yeah, that's me. No, we're not supporting any more charity work this year, thank you. No more charity work. Had enough of charities. No, all of our, no, I'm really sorry, but all of our funds have gone into something else this year. Yeah, something a lot more important than that. Okay. No, I appreciate the work that Funny Farm has done for us over the years, but no. Yeah, but I will be in touch if anything comes available, okay? Right, I'm ending this call now, okay? Bye-bye. Yeah, really sorry about that. Yeah, when you get the Funny Farm on the phone, they're quite difficult to get rid of. But yeah, back to your sponsored question. I think I've been in this game long enough now to spot a good opportunity when I see one. And when you're looking at something, you need to ensure it's got a few things. It's got the appeal. It's going to get the nation talking, and it's got that something a little bit special. And the Pong World Cup clearly has none of these things. But to see a load of boys shouting, screaming at each other while chucking a ball into those little red cups, that's priceless, and that's an opportunity that we couldn't miss.
Honestly, this is a fucking load of shit that we've got to try and do this from home. I just can't deal with it. Sorry. One more time, I'm afraid we've got to hear from the sponsors. We all hate it, but it's got to be done or the tournament doesn't happen.
Due to the technology brought us together, the collaboration tools, the sheer thrill of using Zoom over WebEx, got to get those bastards in, kick 'em where it hurts. And yeah, I think the virtual beer pong this year, we've got a lot to live up for. Sheer thrill and fun. That's what that partnership's about. Mainly benefits over the negatives. We can conclude that over the past 10 years of this challenge, the past 6 years of me being in the challenge, I think we've seen a cohesive group of silly young boys come closer together over the sheer thrill of throwing the ball into a cup and down in a drink and screaming in each other's face.
Would you say that aligns with Cisco's core values?
Sure does.
Any last notes for the players and fans?
From the lovely views of Wandsworth and from everyone at Cisco, I wish you a fair game.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wilton.
I've been looking for.
Chris Simpson historically has the best record in this tournament. He leads the all-time Cups sunk charts. With bold efforts from Gareth Ford, Spencer Robinson and Josh Blackman, they've made a big impact in his previous participation.
From one Allen to another, you've played with some of the best there's ever existed. We're talking Rob Taylor, Mick Twatley. But what do you think about the current generation? You know, your Christopher Simpsons, your Gareth Fords, etc.
I don't think that they're necessarily better players, but I think certainly because just the way the game's played now, it's a lot quicker. So you've got to have something extra to beat. The players you've mentioned, they've all got total control of the ball. That's the first thing you must have.
Right.
You must have total control of the ball. If you've not got total control, then it just helps them out a lot. I mean, if you look at
Players like Sebza.
got on a string.
Yeah.
And he's got the ball in an absolute string.
Spencer Robinson, Samuel Thrower, Gareth Ford, all confident ahead of this week's tournament.
And also you've got to have the confidence in your own ability. These guys, every guy you mentioned there, has got massive confidence in what they're doing.
So there are players we've not mentioned, like Rob Brown, the flair player, one for the crowd, but sometimes it's style over substance. Wouldn't you agree?
And what happens is, it's all right having tricks, but the tricks will never ever work unless one, they're perfected, right, and two, again, you have total control of what you're doing.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen players that you might think on the training pitch, like you say, well, that's good, that's a great trick, but
the game's different.
People like that have no place in this game.
It amazes me how we look back on the last few tournaments and people would be sipping on cans of lager and spirits throughout, drinking before, during, and in between their other fixtures.
Now, I know I like a throwback to a bygone era, but you cannot have that approach in the modern game.
It's much more professional these days.
It's all well and good reminiscing about the old times, but sometimes you've got to bring yourself into the modern game and think like the modern manager.
One key factor that cannot be underestimated is we are now going to see this tournament as individuals, not as teams.
what you've always had in the great teams is individuals that can give you something extra.
Yes.
This is what you need, because in the final third of the pitch especially, if you haven't got the individuals that can give you something extra, then you really haven't got a lot. I mean, because goals win you matches. And
now it really will separate the wheat from the chaff, and we'll see who the top performers really are. But also what is different this year is what was always a part is the celebration and the fanfare around the event itself, the nights out, the celebrations, what would happen after the night out. And you could say this is where some other players really came into their own. You obviously have Gareth Ford performing both in and after the tournament regularly, all the time. Just a top performance. But other players, perhaps you're thinking Sam Thrower, Alex Walters, James Green, they more come into the fold on the night out. I always look forward to what James and Alex would get up to on the dance floor.
absolutely frightening.
Some of it was sensational.
The first touch, which is always king.
Yes.
The confidence that left foot, right foot, the ability to spot something quickly, because that's another factor. It's all right having the tricks, but you've got to have the vision and awareness.
I think my favourite host city perhaps was Reading, purely because the abundance of nightlife in the area.
You've got options.
Rumours have been mooted that post-lockdown next year's tournament could return to West Sussex, Bogdaridius, and, well, the hallowed turf of Club Visions, aka Sheiks. It's an area Gareth Ford always performs at, and really enjoys.
He's always looking for it. You know, he's always looking for it. He's always wanting it. He's always confident. And again, I mean, it must be great to
You
be
enjoy watching him?
It must be great.
What was your thoughts, Alan, on the preview trailer we saw earlier on the week?
I liked it.
Oh, just phenomenal.
The other day in the
Oh,
top
just
class.
everything.
Competitions or quizzes, we've seen the competitive streak come out amongst Christopher Bounds, Elliot Moore, in particular those two.
Top class.
He's like a Keen as soon as with pace.
Yeah.
Rob Brown has looked particularly unfocused in previous events we've seen in the last month.
Now again, there's nothing more frustrating in this world than somebody that's got tricks, right, and goes on the pitch, but there's nothing with them. If you go on the pitch, you've got the tricks, and you do nothing else, then you're not a lot.
Yeah.
And as I say, on television, he's fantastic. He's like, you'll turn on the television to watch him play.
Alan, have you got any picks in particular?
I don't think there's really anybody.
You have lovely eyes, Alan. Perhaps afterwards we can go for a quick pint.
Yeah. You've got major problems.
What do you think is the most important attribute in a modern player's game?
So you've got control of the ball, you've perfected the trick, plus you've got the confidence.
I believe it's pure bottle. The technique everyone has down, it's all in the mind, which perhaps leads to an outside contender, one we've not spoke about yet, Oliver Hill. Oliver Hill, he notorious mind games, but perhaps with his rapid transformation and physical training for the pursuit.
Oh, he was just light years in front of everybody. And I think
Really?
Oh yeah, I think.
Has his mental game diminished?
A little bit controversial. I'm not sure that's quite correct.
Whilst his physical game has improved, it will be interesting to see what his performance is like on Friday.
That is bullshit and unacceptable.
Of course, that's a big part of the game. Again, when you talk on the television about the pace, the control, the movement, the touch, the technique, there's so many facets to the game. People think that if you do a couple of tricks, you're a complete player, but there's more to that. There's everything. As I say, pace is great, pace and movement is great, pace, movement and control. You get up against those three.
Joshua, myself and Alan are very big conspiracy theory fans. Are there any conspiracy theories you enjoy?
As people say, Harry Redknapp's a dinosaur. Never mind, don't worry. Hold on. Oh, I think we're losing communication here. Hang on. No, what a shame. No, what a shame. We'll have to leave that. Up next is... Oh, yes! And of course, this competition is taking us... shit.
It's interesting though, because he pursued beer pong with a passion. And we tried to get that young boy dance lesson, because he moved like a fucking oak tree.
I'll give you a minute to compose yourself. I picked one You're literally crying.
Okay.
Go. Okay. I can't look at you.
What area of a lady do you really like, Alan?
The beauty.
Man as well.
Making a big...
Can you name an African country, Alan, which capital city is also the name of the country?
The beauty.
Just t-shirts. It's t-shirts.
Oh, I didn't see that, James.
Okay, why are you doing that? It looks incredible. This should be your Tinder profile photo.
And whatever happens, I wish those Chapsi boys the best for the future, because they've seen some rides, they've seen some roller coasters, but may nothing prepare them for what's next.